Imagine a world where the Raging Bull logo never existed. A world where the only Italian supercars that mattered came from a man named Enzo Ferrari. That world almost remained a reality, if not for one single, heated moment of pure ego. This is not just a story about cars. It is a story about revenge. It is a story about what happens when you insult the wrong man. You might know the name Lamborghini as a symbol of excess, speed, and luxury, but it was born out of spite. It was built specifically to annoy Enzo Ferrari. And the craziest part is that before he built one of the fastest cars on earth, Ferruccio Lamborghini was a man who built tractors. To understand the weight of this rivalry, we have to go back to post-war Italy. Ferruccio Lamborghini was a mechanic in the Italian Royal Air Force. He was brilliant with his hands, a man who could fix anything. After the war, he saw a desperate need in his country. Italy needed to farm, but there was no equipment. So, Ferruccio took leftover military hardware engines, differentials, heavy metal from trucks, and he converted them into tractors. His business exploded. By the late 1950 seconds, he was incredibly wealthy. He was the tractor king of Italy. He had it all. He had the money, the status, and a burning passion for fast cars. He bought Jaguars, Mercedes, and Maseratis. But naturally, for a rich Italian man in the 1950 seconds, the ultimate status symbol was a Ferrari. Ferruccio bought a Ferrari 250 GT. It was beautiful. It was fast. It was the envy of everyone on the road. But Ferruccio was not just a driver. He was a mechanic at heart. He started noticing problems. He felt the car was too noisy for a grand tourer. It was too rough. But the main issue was the clutch. He found himself constantly burning through clutches. He would take it back to the Ferrari factory in Maranello, they would fix it, and a few weeks later the clutch would fail again. It was frustrating. He was paying a fortune for a machine that couldn't handle his driving. One day, Ferruccio decided he had enough. He told his own mechanics to take apart the transmission of his Ferrari to see what was going on. What they found shocked him. The clutch fitted inside this incredibly expensive, high-performance Ferrari was the exact same commercial clutch that Ferruccio used in his tractors. He was furious. He realized he was being charged a premium for a component that cost pennies in the industrial world. He felt cheated, but more importantly, he felt he could help. He believed that as a fellow manufacturer, he could offer Enzo Ferrari some constructive criticism. He wanted to tell him how to make his cars better. So, Ferruccio drove to Maranello. He demanded a meeting with Il Commendatore, Enzo Ferrari himself. Now, you have to understand who Enzo was. He was not a warm, fuzzy customer service representative. He was a god in the automotive world. He built race cars, and he sold road cars only to fund his racing team. He was known for his arrogance. When Ferruccio walked into his office, he didn't just complain, he offered a solution. He told Enzo that his cars were junk, that the clutches were weak, and that he knew how to fix them. Enzo Ferrari looked at this tractor manufacturer with disdain. He didn't see a peer, he saw a peasant who got lucky. Enzo famously replied with words that would change automotive history forever. He said, "Lamborghini, you may be able to drive a tractor, but you will never be able to handle a Ferrari properly." He told him to go back to his farm equipment and leave the supercars to the experts. It was a slap in the face. It was a dismissal of Ferruccio's skill, his intelligence, and his passion. Most men would have walked away, sold the car, and bought a Maserati. But Ferruccio was not most men. He was a Taurus, a bull by birth and by nature. He walked out of that office with a singular mission. He wasn't just going to fix his own car. He was going to build a car that would humiliate Ferrari. He was going to build the perfect Grand Tourer, a car with a V12 engine like a Ferrari, but faster, more reliable, and more luxurious. He decided right then and there to build a supercar just to annoy Enzo. Ferruccio returned to his factory in Sant'Agata Bolognese and started recruiting. He went after the best talent in Italy, including Giotto Bizzarini, a man who had actually worked on the Ferrari 250 GTO. Bizzarini had left Ferrari in a famous walkout called the Palace Revolt, so he had his own score to settle with Enzo. Ferruccio paid him a bonus for every single horsepower the new engine could produce over the Ferrari equivalent. It was a declaration of war. They worked at a breakneck pace. Ferruccio wanted the car ready for the Turin Motor Show in 1963. They built a 3.5-liter V12 engine that was a masterpiece. It was smoother and more powerful than anything coming out of Maranello. But the development was so rushed that when they unveiled the prototype, the 350 GTV, at the motor show, the engine wouldn't actually fit under the hood. They had to weigh down the front of the car with bricks to make it sit right, and keep the hood sealed shut so no one would see there was no engine inside. But the bodywork was stunning, and the message was clear. Lamborghini was here. When the production model, the 350 GT, finally hit the streets, it was everything Ferruccio promised. It was refined, it was fast, and it had a clutch that actually worked. But Ferruccio wasn't done. He didn't just want to match Ferrari, he wanted to outshine him. He wanted to create something the world had never seen before. This ambition led to the creation of the Miura. Before the Miura, high-performance cars had their engines in the front. Race cars had engines in the middle, but everyone thought a mid-engine road car would be too loud and too difficult to drive. Ferruccio's young engineers worked in secret at night to design a chassis where the engine sat behind the driver, just like a Formula One car. When Ferruccio saw it, he gave it the green light. Not because he thought it would sell thousands, but because he knew it would be great marketing. He thought it would be the flagship that proved he was better than Ferrari. The Miura launched in 1966, and it broke the world. It was the first true supercar. It looked like a spaceship. It was the fastest production car in the world. And it made every Ferrari on the market look instantly outdated. Enzo Ferrari was stunned. The tractor mechanic he had insulted had just reinvented the automobile. The Miura became the car of rock stars and royalty. Frank Sinatra famously said, "You buy a Ferrari when you want to be someone. You buy a Lamborghini when you are someone." The rivalry pushed both companies to new heights. If Enzo hadn't been so rude that day, we would likely not have the Countach, the Diablo, or the Aventador. We wouldn't have the modern supercar era as we know it. Ferruccio Lamborghini proved that spite can be a powerful motivator. He didn't build his company for profit initially. He built it to make a point. He wanted to look Enzo in the eye, point to his golden bull, and show him that a tractor mechanic could beat the master at his own game. Ferruccio eventually sold the company and retired to a vineyard, returning to his roots in the earth. But the legacy of that argument lives on. Every time you see a Lamborghini revving its engine, spitting flames, and turning heads, you are looking at the direct result of a bruised ego. It serves as a lesson to everyone, especially those at the top. Be careful who you underestimate. You never know when you're talking to the person who will build your replacement just to teach you a lesson. Enzo Ferrari created excellent cars, but by opening his mouth that day, he inadvertently created his greatest enemy. And in doing so, he gave the world one of its greatest legends.